And Andrew Little joins us now on the line from New Plymouth. Minister, is this an act of war?
Well, the incursion was on the part of China, as many intelligence agencies have now established, when their state-backed outfit went after various computer networks, information networks, exfiltrated information, and potentially caused damage to a range of companies and organisations. So that's the kind of the hostile act. But agencies around the world got to keep up with this stuff. They see it, they investigate it, they verify it. And on this occasion, a number of countries, I think 20 or 21 now, have established that China has been doing this. It's been state-backed, and we've got to call it out.
So the FBI says this is about China wanting to replace America as the world's superpower. I mean, how do you see it? What do you think the motivation is?
Look, it's not for me to comment on those sorts of claims or attentions. The reality is China is a very powerful country. It's a country with whom we've enjoyed very good relations over many years, over many decades, a country that we have a very strong trade relationship with. That continues, but equally, it's a country that is getting into some activity that potentially compromises the interests of businesses and citizens in New Zealand. Our responsibility as a government is we've got to be abreast of that. We have agencies like the GCSB to monitor what is happening to networks. They've done that, and they've identified that this activity is happening. Even though we have a very good relationship with China on very many fronts, we also have to be big enough and bold enough to call this out when we see it.
So what are you doing about it besides calling it out?
Well, I mean, what we do is we keep abreast of it, we see it, and then when we know it's happening and can verify it, we say that. And we go to China, or the Chinese representatives, and we say, we know this is happening, this is unacceptable, and we want to make sure that our relationship with you as a country is based on positive relationships. Where there are disagreements over genuine matters of policy, we'll say that, but we should not be engaging in the kind of activity under the radar, slightly sabotage type activity that is not healthy for good relations between two countries.
So it's just a telling off, in essence?
Well, it's we know that a country like China, like many countries, have their intelligence agencies. They are using their intelligence agencies to do stuff like going in behind everybody's back and trying to create incursions into computer networks, into infrastructure, and obtain information without anybody's consent. That is a hostile act. It's not acceptable in a relationship. The best you can do is let them know that we know that, call it out publicly. They've got to have to answer for themselves at some point. But that's what we can do, and we are doing it.
Are they the only ones doing that?
No, and we've called out, as a government in a country, we've called out Russia before doing this in the Not Petya campaign a couple of years ago. We've called out North Korea. We know that Iran is responsible for these sorts of incursions. This is not just China. This happens. One of the biggest vulnerabilities of any country and of any private sector now is the threat to networks, to information networks, and that's why the challenge of keeping abreast of the threats and having counter technology to keep up with it and defend networks and data and people's personal information is absolutely vital. That is the big challenge of the modern age.
Minister, quickly before you go, is this us taking sides with America?
No, we do our own investigations and our own verification. Part of the process is we talk to other countries, obviously our Five Eyes partners, but other countries as well, like the European countries who have been part of the attribution today. So we're talking to a lot of people, a lot of countries. We've got to look after our citizens and our people's interests. That's what we do, and we make a judgment about what we say and do about things based on what is in our interests.
Thank you for joining us. That is Andrew Little, the Minister responsible for the GCSB.